Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the classroom with Architect Mark. And tonight, we're going to be talking about the other side of SketchUp's interface, which is basically the default tray. I've been looking at the list of commands that we're going to have to go through for the second day, theoretical second day. And all of them are basically in the default tray. So we will go on the SketchUp environment and one by one tackle the tray elements and what they mean and how they will help us when we're doing our models in SketchUp. So let's go to the classroom now, and then let's start our 12 minutes tonight. All right, so as you can see here, I have got my tray completely uncollapsed or compressed. Normally you see this all revealed like so, but it's a very long scroll, and we're gonna undock it anyway so that you'll see it better. So let me just put it here. As you can see, there are some guidance at the top and everywhere else. So these are what you might call docking assists. So let's start the timer now. Here it is, and let's go. Okay, so we're not starting with the cube right now because the tray is better explained with an, I would say this is a rendered element because it has some materials already, but we'll see how this tray will help us. So let's uncollapse entity info. So this basically is a short version of the properties of whatever it is that you will be selecting. So if we select this thing right here, which is basically Mark, that's likely the name of this dude here. He's right now unhidden, can be locked. So he receives shadow right now, and you can see basically these toggles are visibility, locks, shadow cast, or shadow receive, and shadow cast. So those are our toggles. Hide will be, oh, when you do that and you want to see it again, you can just go to here, view, hidden geometry, and unhide it. All right, so when you select an object, it will show you on the entity info the layer in which that entity is in. If it is an instance of something else, the a name in the definition, or if there's any. And then there can be also advanced attributes here which can be identified. For example, when you're getting items from the warehouse, some of the information here may be filled out. Okay, next we have the materials. Let's collapse. Well, let's reveal it right now and look at how materials are handled in SketchUp. So it's a little bit different here. We have previews of the material here. This is the current material, and this is the Secondary selection thing. Here we don't have anything yet. So we'll probably not be able to use that. This is create material. So this opens up a dialog, which allows us to define a material if we want to. So we'll go to this later, but what happens when you click that is it copies the current material into a new uh, material definition that you should rename and then change the parameters of that material. So right now we're in glass and mirrors. These are when you go down here. Oh, yeah. When you go down here, you can see that there are some default materials that have come in with the SketchUp program. And choosing one of those would reveal uh, more selectable materials that you already have in your program. But of course, uh, if you want to go for realism, you will probably be using different sets of textures for each of your items. These are for if you just want to quickly identify a portion of your model, that it will be masonry like this one. So you can just paint bucket a, yeah, let's do a cube here. So you can just paint bucket, for example, this tan into that, this into that, and so on and so forth. So that's the most basic way of applying a material. Just click it and then place it when the icon becomes a paint bucket. Now, you can see here that there is a back forward button and then a home button, which basically identifies which materials are already inside of the model. So if we go here, you can see that on the materials that I've chosen earlier for this block have been updated here. These are materials for his shirt, shoes, everything about Mark here is already in the model. Now, what you should know is your model, this model of yours, uh, retains material information even if you're not actually using it. But if you are not using it, for example, let's remove this entire box. So the program can now assume that I don't have these four materials are currently not necessary. So what you can do is go here to details, click on that, and you can see that there is a purge unused um, menu here. And when you choose that, it gets rid of all the other uh, materials that we are not. I think this one might be maintained because it's my current material palette. The default is the one with the white and blue color. This one. This is the default. So let's try that again and purge. Okay, that's correct. So now all we have is uh, inside this model is data for his um, colors and nothing else. So this sample paint, it's basically a dropper tool which allows you to get a material that's already in your scene. For example, I wanted to use this particular kind of gray or green gray for another object, I can, instead of looking here, for example, when you're in asphalt and concrete, instead of going back there, you can just sample a material like so. And then what happens is that becomes the current material selection. And you'll be able to um, color in some of the elements using that. All right. So what else do you need to know? This edit panel actually is quite uh, it's quite powerful to be able to control the color tint of a particular texture. So if you have something here, like let's identify an image. Uh, let's see. Get that out of the way and then find a material. Okay, so here we have one. So uh, since I've edited the Mark Pants material, it applied that already into our scene. But we don't want to do that, so let's try and get out of that. So what you want to do when you're creating a new material is click here, and then the create material dialog comes up, which is basically this moved outside. So you can identify a tree trunk, let's say, and then use the texture image that I have seen earlier, which is this. And then it assumes a size already for this material. Normally, you'd want to redefine this, especially if you know the values for your, what's this, a plant. So you can actually click colorize, and then whatever this is applied to will be affected by that. So let's try it. Sorry about that. We'll apply the material to, so here, and then redefine it after, because that can work also. So if you redefine it to say this material is 720 by 1000, so as you can see, it immediately looks so much better than the first one. So that's 12 minutes. We basically got to just 2 panels. So we have a lot more to cover, but those uh, those should take up a little, maybe 3 or 4 days. By the weekend, we'll probably be done with this already. So I hope you found something interesting, and I will see you guys tomorrow on our next classroom. Take care. Goodbye.